They think the smartest person in the room is the one who talks the most. They're wrong. The true master of any room is the one who doesn't need to speak. While others use noise to prove their worth, the intelligent observe, calculate, and strike with precision, silently. Look around your life. How many times have you seen someone dominate a conversation, only to reveal their ignorance with every word? And how often have you seen the quiet ones, the listeners, control the outcome without lifting their voice? Niccolò Machiavelli, the master of power dynamics, would have told you, the most dangerous person is not the loudest, it's the one you underestimate. The one you ignore. The one who lets others speak, while they think. And what makes this dangerous? Silence is not just absence. It's presence. Focused presence. You can speak without words. In fact, the most powerful influence is nonverbal, eye contact, body language, intentional silence. These are the tools of someone who doesn't play the game, they rewrite it. But here's what's most important, most people are terrified of silence. They equate silence with weakness, with being overlooked. That's why they fill every gap with noise, opinions, jokes, self-defense. But when you're silent, you show you're in control, not of others, but of yourself. Machiavelli understood this, power is perception. And when you speak less, you create space for others to project. To wonder. To fear. Silence breeds mystery. Mystery breeds respect. And respect, real respect, is power. So the next time you feel the urge to prove yourself, to argue your value with words, pause. Let the silence do it for you. Your restraint will say more than your speech ever could. People listen to the loudest voice in the room, but they follow the calmest presence. And that presence, if you master it, becomes your silent crown. You walk into a room. You don't speak. But everyone feels you. Why? Because presence is a form of silent dominance. It's not about being seen, it's about being felt. Machiavelli would say that the most powerful people are those who don't reveal their thoughts too easily. They allow others to guess, and in that guessing, others give away far more than you do. Your silence becomes their mirror. And in that mirror, they reveal their desires, their fears, and their weaknesses. Let's be clear, people crave predictability. When you speak less, when you hold your cards close, they don't know what you're thinking. That unsettles them. And that subtle discomfort. That's your leverage. In psychology, this is called strategic ambiguity. You don't give away your intentions. You allow others to project their assumptions onto you. And the more they do that, the more they expose themselves. Ask yourself, why are mystery and minimalism so attractive? Because in a world overloaded with noise, silence is rare. Silence is gold. It makes people lean in. Try it. Next time someone challenges you, don't rush to respond. Just pause. Breathe. Let them squirm in the silence. They'll often keep talking, giving you all the information you need. But there's more. It's not just about what you withhold. It's about what you radiate. Your posture, your eyes, your stillness, these become your language. And when your body language says, I don't need to prove myself, others start to believe it too. Confidence without explanation is the highest form of strength. You don't need to declare power. You just need to embody it. Because the people who shout, I'm in charge, usually aren't. But the one who enters quietly, watches carefully, and speaks only when necessary. That's the person no one wants to cross. In every social situation, learn to master this, the power of being unpredictable, unreadable, and composed. It's not manipulation. It's psychological gravity. Let others orbit around your calm. Let them wonder what you'll say. Let them feel uneasy trying to read you. That's how silent control becomes real power. Most people think control comes from words, commands, persuasion, charm. But the truth is, the deepest form of control in any relationship is emotional silence. Not coldness. Not absence. But the kind of silence that makes people question themselves. You know this feeling. You text someone. They don't reply. You replay every message you've sent. Was it too much? Too little? Did I offend them? That's power. Not the manipulative kind, but the kind that shows how silence makes the other person speak, internally. Machiavelli understood this centuries ago. In The Prince, he wrote that, "He who builds on the people builds on mud." That means, if your power depends on being liked, it's fragile. But if your influence stems from how people feel about themselves when they're around you, then you become unshakable. Want to really understand someone? Watch how they react to your silence. If they get defensive, if they rush to fill the space, if they beg for clarity, you've already won. Their need to please you, explain to you, or fix something that isn't broken reveals everything. Here's where it gets even deeper. There's a trick in dark psychology called emotional contrast. It's when you alternate between being warm and reserved, not to hurt someone, but to make your warmth mean more. If you're always available, always cheerful, always validating, people get used to you. They take you for granted. But if your attention comes in waves, calculated, deliberate, it becomes addictive. It's like oxygen, you don't notice it until it's gone. And no, this isn't about being cruel. It's about making your presence valuable. People chase what they can't fully predict. They invest in what feels earned. That's why some of the most influential people in your life are those who were not always accessible. They left you wanting more. They gave just enough to keep your curiosity alive, but never enough to satisfy it completely. Ask yourself this: are you giving people the chance to miss you? If you're always explaining yourself, defending your choices, chasing validation, you're giving away your power. Silence, used wisely, makes others wonder. Wonder leads to obsession. And obsession, whether romantic, professional, or social, is the birthplace of influence. Want to change the dynamics of a relationship? Don't say more. Say less. Pause before you respond. Let the other person stew in the silence. Their imagination will do more damage, or more bonding, than your words ever could. The key is this: silence is not the absence of communication. It's a different language. And in the hands of someone who knows how to use it, it's louder than shouting. Picture this: you walk into a room and say nothing. Yet somehow, people glance your way. Conversations shift. Tension rises or settles, depending on your expression. This is not magic. It's energetic dominance, the unspoken command of presence. Machiavelli never said, "Talk more to prove your worth." In fact, he believed the opposite. He taught that power is preserved by mystery, and destroyed by overexposure. In today's world, where everyone is oversharing, overexplaining, and overperforming, the person who remains composed, quiet but intentional, becomes a magnet. Think of the most powerful people in history, not the loudest, but the most precise. They mastered a rule you can use right now. The less you say, the more people fill in with their own assumptions. And most assumptions are exaggerated. That's your advantage. When you don't reveal your fears, people assume you don't have any. When you don't rush to defend yourself, people believe you have nothing to hide. When you don't react emotionally, they perceive you as unshakable. Now let's get tactical. Here are 3 Machiavellian silence strategies you can start using immediately. The pause of power. Before answering a question, pause. Not awkwardly. Just long enough to create tension. This pause makes people lean in. It signals that you are not rushed, not reactive. You're in control of the tempo. Most people answer too quickly, trying to prove they're smart or kind. But true control lies in delay. It shows you are choosing your words, not vomiting them. The silent challenge. Next time someone tries to provoke you, don't defend, don't attack. Just look at them. Say nothing. Hold eye contact with calm stillness. This is not passivity. It's psychological warfare. Because people expect resistance. When they get silence, they begin to doubt themselves. They rethink their attack. They lower their weapons. This works in arguments, interviews, even negotiations. Why? Because silence introduces uncertainty. And uncertainty makes people crave resolution, on your terms. The controlled exit. Know when to leave, not just the room, but the conversation. Don't overstay your welcome. End a conversation when it peaks. Walk away when they want more. This is how legends are born, not from endless presence, but from strategic absence. As Machiavelli wrote, it is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. But here's the modern translation. It's better to be respected in silence than ignored in noise. When people don't know what you're thinking, they can't predict you. When they can't predict you, they can't control you. And when they can't control you, they fear you. Not fear in the cruel sense, but fear of loss, of misstep, of disappointing you. That fear breeds respect. That respect builds gravity. And gravity pulls people toward you without you lifting a finger. So if you want to rule the room, don't raise your voice. Raise your presence. And let silence speak louder than words ever could.